Leading off starts right now, and look at that pretty face standing right next to me, sitting right next to me. Actually, not even remotely close to me, maybe 1,000 miles or more. It is Scott Bogman joining me today. I'm Chris Welsh. It is leading off because the Bubs is without power. Bubba had sent a frantic text this morning. I don't think there's power, and I easily could have done this alone, though I don't have an overlay, so I would have been standing here naked talking to the whole world, and I just couldn't have that. So Bogman in the house. So what's up, buddy?
You did that all wrong. You have to be now pinch hitting for KC Bubba, Scott Bogman. One of those.
And you gotta
Yeah,
Bogman.
Bogman, Scott. Happy to be here. Happy to help out Bubba when he needs it. And if my voice stays with us, then I'll be good to go. So let's rock and roll. Let's talk some baseball.
There we go. It's been a little bit since we had Bogman on here. The Bogman is not talking about baseball, of course, over at the In This League Fantasy Baseball podcast. We've been doing that, but Bogman has been all over the betting pros. Halftime last night on Monday Night Football, on the college side, doing football, every little bit of football, everything. So glad to have you here, buddy, and glad to talk about Mike Trout. Homering his 7th straight game on Monday in a loss to the Guardians, though. Did you know that they are 3-4 during this time where Mike Trout has been hitting all of these homers? We'll tell you a stat a little bit here in just a tiny bit. But Mike Trout, 7 straight games with a home run, absolutely helping everybody in their fantasy push and their playoff push. Really an unbelievable stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it has been really good. Like you said, can never help the Angels. I mean, I didn't know that they were 3-4 in a 7-game homer streak, but it's also maybe the least surprising stat of the year because the Angels get these great players and just cannot win games. I don't know what it is.
You and Wonky at the same time. You said that, and Wonky in the chat said it is literally the most Angels thing.
It is. They can't figure it out. They need to sell the team. They need a new strategy. They can't just be like, hey, let's pay for the stars and get no one else around them to help at all whatsoever. So,
it's actually amazing. They're like the only team that money can't buy a win. Like, for whatever reason, they just keep throwing more money, and it gets worse. The situation just gets worse every time. They really should they should dump all the payroll and just see what happens. I don't think it could be that much worse.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they signed Josh Hamilton, they should have been like, we need to reevaluate everything. They signed Hamilton, they signed Pujols, they gave Rendon a bunch of money. The only 2 players that have worked out for them are Trout and Ohtani. Nobody else has really worked out. So, Jared Walsh, I guess, was okay for a little bit. But yeah, I know, for a minute, but like, what else has been going on there? It's just been a disaster. So they definitely need to suffer for a little bit to move everything back up. Same thing the Padres have done, same thing the Astros have done. Can get stuck in that for a little while, Baltimore, but it's you have a better shot of winning more games if you sink to the bottom and then let yourself float back up.
So a fun fact to attach to this, I believe tonight, Trout will be going for this record because he needs one more to tie Dale Long, Don Mattingly, and Ken Griffey Jr. for the major league record of consecutive homers in a game. He's just the second righty, by the way, to homer in 7 straight games, joining Kevin Minch. So if he gets this tonight, he will join Griffey. He will join them. Would you be? I'm going to take a look. I haven't looked at this yet. What do you think the draft? I'm going to just do DraftKings because it's like the one I tend to go to a little bit. What do you think the home run prop is tonight for Mike Trout? Let me see.
Minus 150. I mean, he's hit 7 straight games.
But isn't there a part of you that like he's hit in?
It's got to be plus still, right?
Don't you wish you could bet against him hitting a homer tonight? So let's see.
No,
you don't.
I don't want to. No. What are you? Is this evil Welsh here? What's happening? Like,
all right, so
you want to bet against him?
I totally forgot you can. All right, so here it is. I'm so stupid. I completely forgot. So tonight, it is plus 205 for a homer and is minus 290 on the under. So, Wonky, where is that 180? Because I got 205 on DraftKings right now. Would you be down to put a little bit of ducats on a plus 205 for him to tie the record?
No. I wouldn't.
No.
No.
Minus 290 on a little single bet. Bet
No.
$10 to win 3.
You know how I am, man. I am pragmatic about my betting. I think would be the nice word here for it. So no, I don't want to bet on anyone to hit a homer, and I don't want to bet against a guy to set a record. So no, no,
Oh,
thank you.
Monkey's right, by the way. I said guess, and she did guess. She followed complete directions. By the way,
I follow directions, Welsh.
I like the chat that got into Evil Welsh here. They're like, Evil Welsh is regular Welsh. My hair today, if it could just split into little horns, like little Wolverine, I could be like, would you be willing
the
to go
glove
in?
too, Jed Hurst or whatever
I
from
know. I'm
Breakfast
hurting.
Club.
Everyone's seen this. I have hands hurting. Dr. Glenn, I need a doctor.
So Welsh got to go get on his hog after this show, so got to put the gloves on first. So
gotta get to Anaheim. Mike Trout. Ready for Mike Trout. I don't know. I'm tempted. I think that this is a wild record of a home run streak. I can't imagine they're going to want to be giving him good pitches, but it is Cody Morris. It's a young kid that's going to be pitching. Cody Morris is pretty good, by the way, but it's going to be a young kid that is going to be pitching up against him. And I mean, Trout's going to be swinging for the fences. So that'd be a fun bet. I would like to know anybody in the chat who is either going to bet for or against this tonight on any platform. Don't care where it is, but let me know if
such
you
a
do.
baseball thing too, because it's like, oh, Mike Trout has a back injury and it's going to affect him for his entire career. We don't know if he's going to even be good anymore. Blah 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 blah. How about he sets the record or ties the record for home runs in a game straight? I mean, just so it's baseball, man. Yeah, that's baseball, Susan. There you go.
Baseball beauty, baseball beauty. Some other headline notes. Mookie Betts connected on a 3-run homer to help the Dodgers to a 6-0 victory over the Diamondbacks, his 34th of the year, and he is continuing to blank. On the other side, by the way, Ryan Nelson blanked the Dodgers over 6 innings, but he didn't factor in the win. Looks like he's going to get the Padres next week. And we were both like, nah, we're not going to get the Dodgers, even though he was really good here. But did you jump on the Ryan Nelson train after 2 straight incredible outings, and he's got the Padres coming up?
Well, look, I'll say this. If you can shut down the Dodgers lineup for 6 innings, you can shut down anybody's lineup for 6 innings. So, sure, he looks good. He's on a heater right now, so ride the wave. The bubble is going to burst at some point, hopefully not in your playoffs. But if you're at that point, especially you said he starts Saturday now?
It's looking like,
Saturday
sometime this weekend. I'm going to guess it's going to be, probably Saturday.
There's worse starts out there, and this is a start. If you're desperate, you need it. You need the strikeouts, you need the ERA, whatever. You can roll him out there because he's been dependable the last couple starts. So
I think I would too, especially after the Dodger outing. I think there's a lot of confidence that goes into it. I mentioned he's a really smart pitcher. Multiple offerings. Padres been a little bit dicey, and this was a Discord question, and this reminds me to let you guys know. If you guys have a question, at the end of this episode, we're going to try to answer a couple. I can star the questions as we go. So if you want to do a question for start and sit, pick up, whatever, for the chat, I will star it, and we will try to get to a couple at the end. So you can just freely let it go as you will, and we will be able to go back to those questions pretty easy. Bo Bichette hit a 2-run home run to beat the Rays. In the month of September, Boggs, he's hitting over 500 with 7 homers. 21 RBI in 11 games. You asked me the question on IPL yesterday.
So hot right now.
I know. Had Bichette moved past like Michael Harris? Because we had this talk about Michael Harris or Bo Bichette. And we had this, the debate was interesting because it's like, what can you trade Michael Harris? Because people are like, get off of the Michael Harris train. What could you optimize for Michael Harris? Well, it would have been Bichette. You couldn't have done that now, but if you could, that would be kind of a win.
A week ago, that might have looked like a lopsided deal in the Michael Harris side, But I mean, Bo Bichette has been the hotness since coming into the month of September. So, ride that wave.
You can make it anymore. I don't think you can make that trade anymore. But that was kind of. He
stays this hot to the end of the year. Can he get himself back like near the first round?
I don't think he can get himself into the first round, but I think he can get himself firmly back into like the top. Well, you know what? I say that I was about to say like Roto 15, maybe. Yeah, maybe he could.
Okay.
But like people are always asking like, well, what would be the optimized Mike Harris stuff? That's kind of what you need to do. You need to get these type of guys. Otherwise, don't trade him. Like they're kind of one and the same. But Bo Bichette,
call him Mike Harris. You guys buddies?
Yeah.
You and Mike, your buddy Mike.
Money Mike, baby. Money Mike. That's his nickname. I actually have you guys can't really see it in here, but on the ball wall, I've got a Michael Harris inscribed Money Mike ball. So there you go.
Nice.
Shout out to my boy Dennis Sidler at Sid's Grass. Alec Manoah was scratched from a start today due to a little. He's got a little bad tummy. He's got a little tummy bug, Boggs. A little tummy bug.
Hey, you know what? You got a tummy bug. Your power goes out. Sometimes you just can't show up for work, right? So,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh, come on.
Bubba.
Bubba knows I love him. If I didn't love Bubba, I wouldn't be here, right? So,
right.
it's just part of what happens, especially these days. Anyone has anything where they might be sick? Nope. Stay the hell at home. We don't want you here. So
right.
Go away.
And last piece of the news, we'll go to injuries. According to Craig Mish over at Sports Grid, Marlins are expected to call up Jordan Groshans prior to Tuesday's game against the Phillies. He was a former Blue Jays prospect. I don't have great prospects on Jordan Groshans. Power is kind of completely decimated. He's kind of found his bat a little bit more, but this is not a guy that I'm looking to pick up right now. I mean, opportunity.
Get him some experience at the end of the year, but you're not running to the wire. Yeah. Spend that money on him.
Like Bogman's cliche, availability is the best
ability.
What is it? Ability.
God, you can't even remember the cliche. I've said it 1,000 times.
I was about to screw it up.
Availability is the best ability.
Ability, yeah, okay. It just didn't make sense to me when I was saying it in my head, but yeah.
More of a football term, but yes. I mean, it applies to Jazz Chisholm. So
yeah, and Jordan Groshans. On the injury front, Brandon Lau out of the Rays lineup for Game 1 due to some back discomfort. Wander Franco is back with the Rays starting lineup for the opening contest of Tuesday's doubleheader against the Blue Jays. So there you go. And David Bednar is going to begin a minor league rehab assignment on Tuesday with AAA Indianapolis. I've got to go look because I feel like there's 2 days left of the minor league season. We keep talking about having these minor league rehab stints, but I'm pretty sure it's done. It's got to be just done. This day in baseball, Boggs, 1909, Ty Cobb clinches the American League home run title with his 9th round tripper. It is an inside the park homer against the Browns. In fact, all his 9
St.
homers
Louis
that
Browns.
season. Yeah, and check this out. All of his 9 homers that season were inside the park, including 2 in one game on July 15th. He's the only player in this century to lead in home runs without hitting one out of the park. And we won't have a conversation about how the players performed then versus how they would perform now, right?
Ty Cobb, one of the best hitters ever, but he is definitely the Christopher Columbus of baseball. Not a guy that we should be celebrating, but by any stretch of the imagination. Not a very good dude, but
bring a lot of blankets into the stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that. No, I can't. Yeah.
It's a little easier to get a lot of hits off of 59-mile-an-hour fastballs, but that's just me. That's just me. I got a trivia question for you, Bogman. You're gonna love this one. All right.
Nope.
It's a Dodger question.
Hate it.
How many times have the Dodgers finished with the most wins among AL, NL teams and won the World Series? So it's essentially just who's
and won the World Series?
Yeah, they won the World
Twice.
Series, and you absolutely nailed that. Yeah, you absolutely did. I'm surprised you got it.
They won their one World Series, and then what was the other one? The Kirk Gibson one. So that's all I got.
Yeah, and it's funny too seeing this. So the two were in 2020 when they were 43-17 because of COVID, and then they won 1955 where they were 98-55. So.
Yeah. Well, they've led the league in wins a bunch of times and then choke in the playoffs. So let's keep that rolling.
We were talking about this on ITL yesterday too. An incredible run differential of 312 runs against opponents this year, which is number 1. I think number 2 was 200 runs. So they have
it was the Yankees somehow. That just imagine how many runs the Yankees were up before their skid, where they had no offense for 6 weeks, and now they're 200 runs. They're second, but yeah, the Dodgers just keep beating the bejesus out of everybody. They beat the D-backs last night by 6 runs. So yep, that's the way it goes. But you know what? You can have a 300 run differential and still choke in the first round of the playoffs. So. We're here for it. Let's go.
That's your hope. Stat heroes. Marcus Semien, 3 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBI yesterday. We talked about Bo Bichette, 2 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBI and a run. Aristides Aquino, he was on the props yesterday for 1.5, and I believe he was the plus money play, if I remember correctly. 2 for 3, a homer, 2 RBI. John Birdie had a couple stolen bases. You guys have been dying for that. Rafael Ortega had a homer. He was 2 for 3. Brian Reynolds, may have been one of the top home run people's calls. 2 for 4 with a homer. Zach McKinstry had a bomb. Matt Duffy out of absolutely nowhere, 2 for 4 with a homer, a couple RBI. Francisco Lindor had a homer, and Jeremy Pena did not have a homer, but he was 3 for 5 with a stolen base. Just kind of what everybody has been needing and waiting for him to pick back up. Jeremy Pena, you and I have talked a lot about Jeremy Pena. Do you think you're going to be in on Jeremy Pena next year? Because I feel like the back half struggle has put him in a spot where he is going to be at best outside the top, a little bit outside the top 150, and he's going to be more of a middle infielder than a starting shortstop next year. And I kind of think there's going to be value in year 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice part. It depends on because if he's just outside that top 150, I think that's like at value. But if he drops below like 200 or something in that range, which he probably shouldn't, maybe 175-ish, that is where I think you're starting to get really good value on him. So really, I like Jeremy Pena, and I hope he comes at a value, but it really depends on where we see him get drafted early.
Only 3.9% walk rate this year, which is garbage, but 10 homers, 17 homers, 10 stolen bases with a 253 batting average. Okay runs and RBI for being moved out of kind of like those top spots in the order. He's just going to have to improve on discipline in the offseason, be able to take a little bit more on pitches, kind of find your spot a little bit more, which could lead to a higher batting average. And looking through here,
this is like if Michael Harris started to struggle, because he started out so hot. He was so good to start, but then he hit that bump that we expect with young players. Michael Harris never hit the bump.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's completely different, like, just contact skills with those guys. Like,
sure.
Pena was never necessarily this type of guy, but just physical specimen, and the leadoff stuff didn't work, and everybody else picked it back up. But I don't know. Pena, I think, is going to be a good, like, cheap buyback in the offseason for people if you're in, like, even keeper dynasties or in redraft. I think he'll be one of those guys in, like, really early best balls I will probably get as, like, second or third middle infielder and hopefully reap the rewards. On the pitching side, Framber Valdez went 9, struck out 8, only gave up 6 hits. Alex Cobb struck out 7 over 7. Ryan Nelson, who we talked about, struck out 6 over 6, only gave up 2 hits to the Dodgers, which is crazy. Tyler Anderson against those Diamondbacks, though, he went 7, only struck out 2. And Trevor Rogers, 6 1/3 with 9 strikeouts. Bogman, Trevor Rogers lives, and I know Wonky is just having a field day with it right now. I don't know if you remember how bad Trevor Rogers is.
Oh, yeah.
He is still sporting a 5.35 ERA even after these good performances, and splits so far. I mean, the splits still don't even look that great because the first and second half are all kind of jumbled. But he had August a 1.5 ERA over 1 start, and in September he's had 2 starts with a 3.65 ERA.
He's got 3 quality starts in a row.
Yeah, and that's the thing. March 5 ERA, May 5 ERA, 7 ERA in June, 5 almost 6 ERA in July, and then these last 3 starts after spending time in AAA really seem to have changed out a few things, and he's looking a little bit better.
Yeah, he has been looking good. And this is, specifically with pitchers, we talk about Jeremy Pena going on the roller coaster. This is Trevor Rogers for sure. And he's still only 24. He's still developing. And, there's a lot of meat on the bone, as I like to say, Welsh, in terms of his future value. So obviously he is not done yet. And let's hope that he just continues this throughout the end of the season and we can have a little positive outlook on him going into next year. But if he does do this all the way through the season, the end of the season, Welsh, he's going to be overrated next year. It's just going to happen again. He's going to have like 3/4 of a terrible season and then still be overrated next year.
I don't think there's going to be any scenario where he goes too high because of how bad it is. But what will happen is he will become a target, and then as he becomes a target, he will move up draft ranks, which will make him annoying because this is a guy that shouldn't be drafted inside the top 200.
Well, it'll be one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's hovering right around there, like in draft season. And then once we get to spring training, like if he has 2-3 good outings, then through the roof. That's exactly what would happen with him if he finishes off the year well. If he stinks it up again in his last couple starts here, then he probably won't even go inside the top 250.
If he gets all stinky. And as Wonky said, where is it? I am the rose to his Jack. So you can't quit. You can't.
You'd let him drown in the icy water. Is that what's happening there?
By the way, looking at his Savant page, it's definitely moved off of being the dark blue that it was. I mean,
Yeah.
Fastball has been pretty plus 90 percentile in spin. Barreling is getting around even right now. The xWOBA ERA stuff is in X slugging. I mean, he's just still getting hit pretty hard.
I took a look at Jeremy Pena's, and it's I'm blue. You know, pretty blue there for Jeremy Pena.
Pretty blue. Over on the hitters for the Zeros, Chris Morel, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Tyler Naquin, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Crybaby Wilmer Flores, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Those were your big disappointments. On the pitching side, Eduardo Rodriguez gave up 5 earned runs over 5, 10 hits, only struck out 2. Chris Bassett, I thought was going to be a great play yesterday. He was not. 3 2/3, 5 earned runs, gave up 2 homers, and Mike Minor, 5 earned runs, 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, gave up 3 home runs. That is many home runs.
Didn't Bassett strike out 10 in his start before this?
Yeah, well, I think it was a good matchup too. It's just one of those that did not work.
Chris Bassett's my heartbeat watching the Steelers game. You know.
Bogman, you were here. It's been like close to a month or so. The home run board has definitely moved, and not
only P off of it yet. That's all I care about,
dude. He's still on it because he's got Judge he just has Judge every single day. But
smart.
He is falling down. He is falling down a little bit,
like London Bridge.
Not only do we have a new number 1, but that number 1 has now. We had it yesterday in Cat Fox. Cat Fox has a 2 home run lead, calling Brian Reynolds yesterday with 52 homers. Cat Fox is sitting at. D-Blum and High Cubby are at 50. High Cubby called a Mike Trout homer to get up to 50. Go Cards and Elskell are at 49 as Elskell had Mike Trout. So the race is still very tight, but Cat Fox is getting themselves just bit of a lead.
This is my request. Cat Fox, I'd like some lottery numbers. Appreciate that. Thank you. If you're calling Brian Reynolds, give me some lottery numbers, please.
Isn't it incredible, too, that these home runs are still not to Aaron Judge? Like, we're still not at Aaron Judge real-life homer levels, just calling them. It's just still wild to me. It's still wild to me. All right, friends. You know what time it is, Bogman. You know what time it is?
What time is it? Oh, there we go.
Kings and queens for crowns and tiaras. We all make our bets over at BetMGM. That's right. All you've got to do is download the app or go to the website, use the promo code leading off, and you're going to get a risk-free $1,000, or you can get a risk-free $1,000 bet by using our promo code leading off. Go and do it today. You can make any bet you want. You can get in on the props, but when you do it, think of me with my beautiful tiara. This is the it's like a I was gonna say rose gold, but it's just like a beige. It's a beige one today, so I gave you beige. You like it?
Oh, okay, sure. I think you should leave it on personally, but you know, that's just me.
I'll leave it on for a little bit. Sure, why not?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I like it.
Told you, I look like I look like a fat.
You look like a pretty princess.
I look like
so. Congratulations.
It's Fat Wonder Woman, who has facial hair. Fat Wonder Woman at a circus. It's a circus version of Fat Wonder Woman with a beard and stuff. Here are your play. I'm actually going to take this off because it's very
okay. Yeah, please do. Yes, thank you.
Please do. I had okay hair going today. Here are 4 plays for you. They're actually all pretty interesting, and we've got two total base props and 2 strikeout plays. The number 1 play of the day is only 1 total base, but it's juiced up, and it's our boy Jake McCarthy.
Rake McCarthy, let's go.
1 total base, but it is minus 185. That's on DraftKings. So you're essentially for $10, you're going to get $5 back if he gets it. But you only need
lefty matchup.
Yeah. The number 1 plus money play on total bases, if you didn't like that, if you want to go and play the total base plus game, go to Adley Rutschman, who is 1.5 total bases plus 117 over on Sugar House, and he is projected at 2. So it's a pretty even matchup, but that was the number 1 plus money play if that's your bag. Over on the strikeouts, 2 huge names today. The number 1 strikeout play is Garrett Cole. You only need 7 strikeouts. The number is 6.5. He's projected at over 8. It's minus 140 on DK. I also like that one. And then the number 1 plus money play, Jacob DeGrom under 9.5 strikeouts. That is plus 115 on DK Bog. So you tell me, what do you like?
Nah,
Are you playing
I
anything?
don't.
Are you parlaying too? What do you like out of all
I'll
these?
say this: I'm never gonna bet against Jacob DeGrom ever. So there you go. That's number
Nine
one.
and a half strikeouts, and it is against the Chicago Cubs. So if you get 9, you still win. Anything over, you lose, but it pays plus money. You got Garrett Cole, Adley Rutschman, McCarthy. What's your bag?
Look, I like the Garrett Cole one. I think there's value there for sure. I just don't know about McCarthy against Kershaw. He has been so hot, but that's a tough lefty-lefty matchup. So I guess Rutschman would be my other one. I kind of like the Alcantara one for today too. I think the strikeouts is 5.5. So
there's a lot of good pitchers going today on those plays.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, like, I just don't play unders on guys like Cease, DeGrom, and Strider. Even yesterday, Strider's number was 7.5, and he got 9. I don't play against these guys, and the Cubs are just brutal. I'm probably fading this, and I didn't look at what the over is. If it's plus 115, I'm gonna guess it's probably like minus 130.
I mean, if there's anyone that could get 9 strikeouts or 10 strikeouts in the first 11 batters, it's Jacob DeGrom. So why bet against him?
If there's anybody that can figure out how to get 10 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, it'll be him. It's not possible, but if it were, it would be him. I didn't have a good DK info for you. It wasn't really listed, but you guys can piece that together. And, we did post questions, but we didn't get any great questions. We did have one question here. So if you guys, I gave you a chance. If you guys got questions for start, sit, whatever, this is your last opportunity. But Wonky, what should I drink when the Tigers somehow blow up Hunter Brown and all my hopes and dreams go down the drain? I can't. Oh, Malort. Oh. That's
actually what you should do to make you laugh, Wonky, is watch people drinking Malort on the internet. That's what you should do. If Hunter Brown completely destroys all of our hopes and dreams here, because I'm on the Hunter Brown bandwagon as well.
I went pretty strong on the Hunter Brown stuff too. Like, this is a must. And because he's also got the A's after this, so it's like an absolute must. That what time is this game? This game is at 3-4. This is gonna hurt. Over the run totals at 4, and it's against Drew Hutchinson. So I mean, Malort is actually a good one because I think then you can it's kind of a like hurt yourself thing. Like, you deserve the punishment, and sometimes you have to do that. Mr. Buster did ask, do we like streaming Roansy Contreras against Cincy tomorrow? You're asking on a tomorrow one. I would go with yes, especially if I'm looking for, if I'm looking for some ratio stuff. I would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, that's not something you want to do, but sure, let's go.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. I'm not sure I want to do that, but I'd be comfortable.
You need the innings. Yeah,
the top of the Reds lineup can get a little crazy with Fraley sometimes, but India's just been bad, and it's a bad offense kind of in general. Let's go with the home run calls, though. Home run calls of the night. Wonky is going with Josh Young. Look at that call. Josh Young, big power hitting Josh Young, who I read a stat from Jeff Zimmerman that he is striking out 50. He has a 56% K rate. I think it's against sliders. He's getting massive amounts of sliders, and it's destroying him right now. And Young is going to need to adjust on that, but he's just killing fastballs. So just be on the lookout for that. Wonky is going with Josh Young. I see no Mayer call. So Bogman, I throw it to you. Who's going to be your home run call of the day?
You know what? Give me Christian Walker against Clayton Kershaw. So look, my first time on this show in like a month, so I need to go full homer. Hey, give me Walker. Let's go.
BVP wise, I think Christian Walker has the second most home runs against a pitcher going today. He's got 4 homers against Clayton Kershaw, and here's a fun fact: hits over 300 against Kershaw. Over 300. Strikeout rate's pretty low. He doesn't hit 300 on anything except against Clayton Kershaw. So that's a pretty good bet. I'm going to go with Mook. I'm going to go with Mookie hitting it. You know what I should do? You know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it.
Change it.
Mike Trout. I'm going to go with Mike
Trout.
There
you go.
Let's have fun. I'm going to go with Mike. I'm not playing for anything with the home run contest. So let's do that. I'm going to go with Mike Trout today. Ties up the contest. Maybe should I bet it too? I don't know. Maybe I'll bet it.
I don't know.
Send me money and I'll bet it. I don't bet more of it. We'll bet a big bet. Let's do a Degenathon, and we'll do hundreds of dollars on a home run call today at plus 200. I think
as long as you're calling it, it ain't me, because I don't want to hear it. So
Our boy Dr. Glenn gave me my line, Boggs. I don't know if you know, we've been doing this. We've got a line every single day, my pitching line of how my performance as host is, and Dr. Glenn scores it. Dr. Glenn says I went 7 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, but I struck out 7. Bogman comes in relief, 3 strikeouts, and the trumpets played Meatloaf.
That's pretty solid. I like that. No, I did. My favorite thing with the trumpets and all that stuff for Edwin Diaz is someone saying they're playing the trumpets all wrong. You don't play it like that. And someone said, yeah, well, their heads are made out of baseballs, so I think it's okay.
Oh, they're mad about the mascots, dude?
Yeah, they're playing the trumpets all wrong. Their fingers in the wrong place. Like, yeah, well, their heads are baseballs. So let's not get stuck on the details here, guys. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, and spoiler alert: those guys are also not playing the trumpet. Let's just point that out. They're actually not playing.
Oh man.
I also hate to tell you, the guy with his hand up the puppet's not actually talking either. It's the guy. So, all right, friends, that is the episode. Thank you to Bogman for hanging out. Find him on Twitter at Bogman Sports. You can find me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh. You can find us over at thisleague.com on our Patreon, and of course our podcast where we've got all the baseball and lots of other stuff if you guys want to come hang with us. It's a wonky Wednesday tomorrow. Kelly Kirby in the house, so make sure you guys are in for it. For Bogman, I'm Welsh. Goodbye, friends. Peace out.
See ya.
See ya.